The Almost Fatal Kickstarter is the 4th exclusive Kickscammer episode available to YouTube members and Patreons. Find the links down below to support the show to see episodes like these and to get plenty of other awesome perks too. Thanks for listening and on with the show. This is Kumo, A Boy in the Clouds, a rather stunning looking indie game that was fully funded on Kickstarter back in August of 2019, a game that has now sadly been cancelled with the campaign owner offering up refunds to everybody that backed it. Now, obviously something like this normally ends with comment sections being filled to the brim with burning pitchfork wielding backers demanding their refunds now, feeling cheated and scammed. But this is not the case. Hey, thanks for being upfront about how things turned out, but I don't need the refund. It's sad to see the way it's ending, but I'm happy to be a part of it and I don't want a refund. I only backed €15, so I don't need the money back. What is going on here? How did Benjamin Gregg, the creator of this almost finished Kumo project with only 2 levels to go according to a recent interview, manage to get the vast majority of his 781 backers to wish him well and to just not bother about that refund that was offered to them? Something's not quite right here, because if you have been a long time watcher of the Kickscammer series, you know this just simply never happens, especially in the video game space. Well, that's what we're going to be finding out today, as I plan to tell you the full story. Yes guys, you know for a fact there's a lot more to this than meets the eye. So, let's set the record straight with the truth behind Kickstarter's stolen Kumo game. Welcome to Slope's Game Room. Our story starts back before the kickstarted project Kumo, A Boy in the Clouds, with Kumo, an emotional story in the sky. Honestly, there really isn't much to show you here, as the campaign owner has successfully requested the removal of the campaign, but thanks to a member of my Kickstarter detective agency, I do have a small glimpse as to what was on offer here. A Kickstarter with a very bland image and a very subpar body of text. It was apparent that the campaign was heavily inspired by both Rime and Journey, a couple of highly respected games in their own field, and even though the campaign got quite a few updates, even being featured on the Unreal Engine YouTube channel as part of a news and community spotlight, it was obvious it wasn't going to be hitting its goal, and on February the 1st, 2019 it was cancelled, with the campaign owner Benjamin Gregg teasing about the possibility of coming back and doing it right. That day came a couple of months later on July 31st, 2019, and to give Benjamin his due, he did indeed take this time to learn how to do Kickstarter right. There's a definite skill required to create a compelling campaign, and over the past 5 months he had turned one campaign that only earned £1,366 of a £25,000 goal with 55 backers into a campaign that earned £22,071 of a £13,450 goal with 781 backers. Yes, he asked for about half of the amount and earned a stupid amount more than even the original goal for the same exact project. Honestly, there is no real secret or scamminess to any of this, besides the fact that his first attempt was completely hidden from view under a different account. But the real reason is that he had a good video, he had a good body of text, and he had great rewards and a fully playable demo. It's as simple as that. Or is it? Plenty of updates continued on, with plenty of feedback being given back and forth between the dev and the backers until it eventually ended, and as stated, it did quite well for itself. Gregg's Twitter was active, the campaign was active, apparently his Facebook was too, and most notably his Discord was incredibly active, with the most hardcore of all of the backers finding home right there. Now I could drag this out further by telling you that every single update leading up to its failure, but there's really not a lot to show you guys. Besides a couple of very typical issues and hiccups on the surface, everything seemed fine. Heck, he even set up a GoFundMe campaign to help out other developers during this trying time, during the pandemic that we're currently in. In the words of Tim Nice but Dim,
what a thoroughly, absolutely splendidly bloody nice bloke.
Seriously, everything seemed pretty normal. That was until May the 5th, 2020, with the typoed update, bit legal problems. Let's sit down and have a chat. As you all know, today there was a major issue happening with Kumo, and unfortunately, that is not the only problem that has arrived during this development time. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, I'm not going to pretend I'm like the victim or giving up on the project, but unfortunately Kumo is going to be going away for a little while. He has gone to farm to play with other atmospheric games, and will return sometime in the future. 6 months? 1 year? I don't know, but when it does, it will be a whole new experience. Same characters and same story. But all of this is causing too many issues to my family and my friends and myself as well. I will not be closing Twitter/email or Discord. I will still interact with everyone and keep you updated whenever it is necessary. If you see this as me giving up and finding an easy way out, then I'm sorry, but that is not the case. I simply need to step away and come back as a new developer and bring Kumo with me, a whole new style. Thank you for this amazing year. So, what were these issues? Well, the very first indication of any issues came after a very angry tweet that soon got deleted. That read, "So due to some trees, Kumo's development has halted and may end up having to fight some legal actions over Tequila Works, claiming that I have stolen assets from their game Rime. After nearly 3 years of development and 10 years in the industry, I have never been so insulted." Just to make sure you're up to speed on this, guys, Kumo, the Kickstarter game, took a stupid amount of inspiration from a game called Rime. It was quite open with that inspiration, in all honesty. And now Tequila Works, the guys behind Rime, are threatening legal action because Kumo's trees, seen in the demos and trailers, are apparently the same trees as the trees found in their game. And these are those trees. Guys, these images got thrown around all over Twitter, and quite a few respectful news sites jumped on board too. People were furious at Tequila Works for being the big I am and forcing the little guy to make unnecessary changes. It's disgusting behaviour from a greedy company. They're bloody trees, guys, chill out. Who cares? Besides, absolutely everybody agreed that these were not even the same trees. One of the places that took this story and ran with it was on a forum post over on Resetra, and they also agreed. These are not the same trees. They very clearly aren't the same trees. I can easily find a tutorial on how to make a tree like that tequila tripping. Not a great look for tequila, honestly. They're different trees. Yeah, those aren't the same. Yeah, not sure how they look the same at all. Everywhere you looked, people were backing up poor old Benji. Personally, I don't think that he expected that his type before you think approach would get this kind of reaction, but it did, which again was why he deleted the tweet and was why Tequila Works officially responded. We want to confirm that we have not taken any legal action against anyone. We have only contacted the developer of Kumo as we saw some similarities in the assets of his game, specifically the trees, being the same as we created for Rime. We thought that this must have been an oversight or mistake, so we have been asking for them to be removed. Tequila Works, May 2020. So, who's to blame here? Is Tequila Works just throwing in legal issues on anyone that looks like they have a similar tree to theirs? Or is Benny Boy doing something wrong? Are these trees even the same trees? Well, one thing is for sure, Tequila Works honestly do believe that yes, they are the same trees. And one thing that a lot of people kept bringing up is the fact that Tequila Works trees looked quite similar to Breath of the Wild's trees. Fancy taking on Nintendo, do ya? Look, think what you like, because at the time the vast majority were on Kumo's side. That was until the members of that Resetra thread started speculating and digging a little deeper into this whole forest fire of a campaign. As stated, everyone for the most part seemed fine up to this point, but dig a little deeper and you get a much better understanding as to the real person behind the Kumo campaign. He set up competitions so that fans and backers of the project could put their assets into his game in exchange for t-shirts and Steam keys, which actually started to wind up quite a few people as they saw it for what it probably was, his way of getting free assets for his game. This seems like a way of getting free labour. Not really. This is just a competition. If I wanted, I could spend a lot of a concept artist, but this is giving someone a chance to have their illustrations to be part of an actual commercial game. On top of this, eager Nintendo Switch collectors, among other consoles of course, were confused by his claim to release physical versions of the game on all major platforms, which would obviously be dramatically lower than the minimum quantity needed to release the game physically on all 3 systems plus Steam. Let alone the whole hardcore process of getting the game greenlit by all 3 companies and getting hold of all 3 companies' development kits. When fans asked him about this, he shrugged it off with a simple answer such as, yes, it will be a physical cartridge. And then, shortly after, went back on his word on Twitter by saying, digital only, I would love physical, I think it would make me cry, haha. This was again flip-flopped on August 24th of 2019, where he announced that €6,000 of the money raised was spent on travel tickets to attend the GDC Expo, and that the travel company that he worked with refused to refund him. Because of this, a Nintendo Switch release is simply just not gonna happen physically or digitally. Moving into the next year, we start to see the rumblings that he doesn't want to make the game anymore. I have to be honest, with my current mental state these past few weeks, I honestly don't know if I have a passion for making Kumo anymore. Every day I question if I should carry on and if it will be worth it for me in general, as it causes more and more issues mentally. I look at the game and just start to hate it more as time goes on, and I can see the progress, but do I enjoy making it? No, not at all. Is it too ambitious? No, not at all. Why am I making Kumo now? I don't know anymore. What does this tell us? Well, it tells us that Ben may be dealing with a few inner demons. He even says himself that he isn't in the right mental state. Now, obviously, I'm not knocking him for having any kind of mental issues. I'm just showing that these tweets were made at the beginning of 2020, proving the fact that from this far back at the very least, he didn't want to work on the game anymore. And it is also worth noting that the Resetra member, Kitty, who posted these findings, did state that allegedly after tweeting comments like this, some backers rightfully asked for refunds, which resulted in him deleting the tweet and backpedaling, saying that he doesn't mean to cancel for good, he means he was only thinking of temporarily postponing the game. Can you see anything about a short step back from the project in these tweets at all? Because I can't. These cries for help would end up being pretty consistent, and for every upset backer that came along asking for a refund, endless amounts of others would completely outnumber them offering up their sympathy. The whole GoFundMe thing happened, as already stated, that did in fact raise just over €100 before it stopped accepting donations, with no proof or updates at all on where that money ever went. And of course this brings us back up to date to the whole tree issue that even his most angriest of backers couldn't argue against. These are not the same trees, right? Page after page of people ripping into Tequila for stolen tree assets that were so obviously not stolen continued to get posted all over the internet, and then the tables started to turn. These trees are similar, but not exact copies. Just more context, not defending Tequila works. It was at this point that Benjamin put out the Bit Legal Problems update that we looked at before and walks away from the whole project due to the stress it was causing him. And this was when that Kitty user downloaded the backers only demo and did a much closer inspection of those trees. Yep. They were indeed, when twisted around the right way, very, very similar trees. this new information blew up with some people still sticking by Benji, saying that it could be copied, whilst others turned a new leaf and were furious at the Kumo developer for flat out lying, leaving the big question now to be, was this the same tree asset or was it just copied? Regardless, even with his loyal fans behind him, there was some definite shady stuff going on here, and he really didn't help himself, because as soon as this GIF started getting posted all over the place, he quickly deleted all of his social media profiles and his Discord. Due to people not being respectful of the situation and causing extreme stress and pressure to the point where I'm feeling sick, even after my statement, people have continued to make false situations with attempts of rips. I'm going to be closing down Kumo completely and stepping away from game development, as I'm extremely worried for my health. Kumo's Discord and Twitter will be removed within 24 hours. I thank everybody for the respect you have given me. And on the very same day, on that Resetera forum, a member going by the name of Noodle finally showcased the final piece of evidence by ripping the assets of these trees from both games. So yeah, they're the same model, dimensions identical to the nearest thousandth of a centimetre. By this point, guys, there was no denying it. The facts were right here and they were laid out. Benjamin Gregg did indeed steal those tree assets from the Tequila Works game, Rime. Many of the angry people investigating this game came to the conclusion that this whole thing was a setup by Benji. Let's look at the facts. It's believed that Tequila Works found their work in another upcoming game and asked behind closed doors peacefully and calmly for the developer to remove them. The developer of Kumo already stressed that the process of making his game saw this as a get out of jail free card, shouting out against Tequila Works publicly, trying to shame them. He did. He got a nice big group of people behind him supporting him, which gave him the excuse that he needed to give up, and he did. It's easy to see why so many people thought this was the case. Did this series of events actually happen due to a plan put in place by Benji? Personally, I don't think so, but there's no getting around it. These are the facts. This series of events did in fact happen, planned out or not. Think what you want. Seriously, I welcome it. In fact, I'm pretty sure that my comment section is already filling up with people supporting Benji whilst others are not. It's going to be a very, very tight argument. It's just the way this list of events has unraveled itself up to this point. However, don't hit that enter button just yet, because a few pages later on that Resetera forum, another member came forward who knew Ben personally and shared with us a little more insight into who Benjamin Gregg was before this Kickstarter had even begun. I've known Ben since 2007 and he's been ripping off art styles, lighting, colour palettes and even character designs from my work and other devs that I know. And I have some additional screens showcasing the timeline of when he may have acquired the tree model in question, as well as other potential Rime assets. The lengthy post shows text logs after text logs of Greggy constantly asking devs that he has befriended to let him have their assets. Can I has it, lol? Could send me the material nodes and I'll modify it, sneaky face. Also, how's the water coming along? I still want your one, haha. Can you send me a screenshot of your tree trunk's wireframe so I can get an idea on the way you're pulling it off? Dude, that water is beautiful. Give it me, lol. Please let me have them trees and rocks. Give me your goddamn grass and trees. I hate this FPS drop, lol. And this all came from just one of his game developer friends, but apparently there are a lot more, including, according to these screenshots, Rime developers as well. I got in contact with them and asked if they would be okay with me taking inspiration from the game's colour palette and how the buildings stand out from the environment, and they replied with they would love it, so I am. He claims he got texture packs directly from the devs too, however we only have his word on this. Did he get sent these texture packs and the trees legitimately or not? Honestly, I can't say for sure. That is very much up to you guys to decide. The dev that he constantly badgered for trees and water assets among other things gave his opinion on the matter. I have no way to verify whether he got these textures legitimately or not, but given the situation here and his past behaviour of badgering developers for assets, it seems worth mentioning. I hope this showcases my perspective with Ben. I'm all for building work and being inspired by people and works that you idolise, but the situation here seems pretty cut and dry, that Ben managed to rip and or steal assets from Rime for use in a Kickstarter campaign game that netted him tens of thousands of dollars, which he then cancelled. It's frustrating and extremely disappointing, and I feel very sorry for the people he lied to. And that's where we are. Benjamin Gregg did jump on an interview to explain his actions as best he could, but very much tripped up on a lot of what was said.
I just want to make sure that everybody knows that, you know, it's just a freaking accident. It's just a fucking accident. You know, whether or not, you know, Tequila Works reads into all of this and they go, oh, well, you made an uproar, Q, this is what we're going to do, is up to them. But what's happened has happened. And I would like to state that, you know, I didn't ask for any uproar. I didn't ask for anyone to go anywhere. I just simply, you know, was honest and said that there might be this. Like, there might be this going on. I didn't, and then people started claiming that they are going to take legal actions. And it's like, they never said that. Chill.
And even though they're teasing of the project coming back to life being a possibility if all of the legal issues could be sorted out with Tequila Works, his final update on May 16th, 2020 came in going completely against that. Hello again, so the situation has been resolved. Going forward, I have decided to fully terminate Kumo for good. The post goes on to explain how he has tried to be as honest as he can be during this whole ordeal. Some people have been kind, others have been rightfully taking his word the wrong way. He said that he would give every single backer their money back and ended the update with the following statement. I am going to be taking some time away from the computer and focus on my family and friends whilst I decide what I will do in the future, if that's freelance or to pursue a new type of career. But it's something I must decide on my own and go ahead with. Thank you, Benjamin. I do not need nor want a refund. My contribution was small and it's not an issue. Hi Ben, really sorry it didn't work out. Honestly, I don't want my refund and would prefer you keep it as a token of my gratitude for the heart and soul you've put into this project. Hi Benjamin, I don't want a refund either. All the best. I don't need a refund. I paid to back you. I won't retract that. I hope all the best and please keep the amount I donated to you. Keep being you. My donation was a gift and I will not accept a refund. I don't need a refund. Cross me off the list, please. Hey there guys, thanks for checking out this episode of Kickscammer News. Yeah, it's a little bit different than the ones I've done in the past, as you've probably seen, very quote heavy, very text heavy. But yeah, there was just a lot to cover and I didn't really want to miss anything out. So yeah, it was basically, well, to give you guys a little bit of context, basically this was originally a Kickscammer News episode, but when I discovered this whole Kumo story and just dug a little deeper, it just blew way out of proportion. So I just basically decided to do its own episode, which means yes, Kickscammer News will be coming up within the week. So yeah, please write down below what you think of this whole crazy Kumo situation. And as said at the beginning of this very episode, if you guys want to support the show and see exclusive Kickscammer episodes, then, well, there'll be links down below for you guys to do just that. And I want to give a massive shout out to the patrons and YouTube members that do already help me out every single month, with an extra big shout out going to Gary Pinkett, Sashi Dog, Ryan Burford, Andrew Dalton, Andrew Ward, Asobi Quang DX, Jonathan Hayward, Lipt, C64 Television, Kevin King, Aaron Gorman, Ben Jackson, Pretty with Horns, Jeff Mianowski, Elf Daughter Crafts, Richard Alderjick, Shadow Dial, Rovan Army, Ryan Holtz, Retro to Next Gen, aka Lou, Dina, Adam Lefty Taylor, Intrigued Gaming, Tim Labonte, Tim Lunn, Conrad Constantine, Pretendo64, Creamy Elephant, David Yaron, Kinglink Reviews, Chris the Rottweiler, Hut, Brandon Gold, Aidan Wolf, Big Rico, Jeff Ladd, Mike Martin, RetroReversing.com, RL Sloan Friendly, Shadow Dragon, Game Apologist, Chris Applin, Wobbles and Bean, The Wonder Ducks, Ye Old Hamburglar, Dan Petit, Lucas Softail, Ronnie Method, SSWB, Solix Captor, Jeremy Rodriguez, Nick Pollard, Bran Perez, Marcus Kingy Mocut Tyndall, Richard Carter aka Fantastic Dizzy, Todd Paul Float G, Petty Mew, Rocket Plod, Christopher Furlong, Man of God 9000, MZ, The Cunning Linguist, That Gamer, Arista, Mr. T, Dina81, Trans Rights, and of course, Samuel Nilsson. All of these incredible people help me out every single month and let me continue to make content like this. So again, if you guys want to support the show and continue helping and get crazy awesome perks yourself, like exclusive t-shirts and what else is there, Discord rooms and all of these other awesome perks, then please do click those links down below to become a YouTube or premium member. Anyway, I think that's enough plugging now, isn't it? Yes, got a big week up coming up with loads and loads of new videos, so keep an eye out for that. But until next time, this is DJ Slope signing out, and hopefully I'll see you all next time.